Ralph had one of everything, and then I would put on my underpants. And then I would
sashay out.
And then I'd parade around. And then, in order to feel more comfortable, we pretended I was at a gay club, walking around in just my underpants, and to see if everyone at the gay club enjoyed me. And when we voted on my underpants look, and that was really gay. You know, I was very gay.
It sounds gay because it was just the two of you.
Yeah. And then even Ralph said, you know, you don't need to keep parading around. Why don't you just try them on, and whatever ones you like, we can order.
Right. He doesn't need to see you.
Yeah. And I go, what's the matter? You don't want to see me?
Joe, hi. You're on the air. Hey, man.
Howard.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And nothing.
Listen, I think it's time you come out of the closet with Ralph.
Oh, please.
Because I know deep down, I mean that literally.
All right, so I'm a homosexual.
You're a sword swallower.
Right. I'm a homosexual. You're right.
Thanks, Howard.
Right. What can I tell you? I'm caught. Good. In fact, that's good. That would be easy. I'd love to be gay. It'd be so goddamn simple. And then when people ask me about why I'm separated from Ira, just go, you know what? I'm gay.
20% of American men had at some time in their lives at least one homosexual experience. Now, you told me every man did.
Yeah, well, every man has, but only 20% will admit to it. It's a pretty embarrassing thing. Every guy has at least had a sword fight.
Now, wait a minute. Would you say that just because you had, and you want to believe that every man does?
I never had a sword fight.
Not a sword fight, but you had a homosexual experience.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you want to call it that. I mean, I was a young child, of course.
I think that's why you want to just label every man.
Every man has had some kind of homosexual experience.
Oh, like, I watch every movie.
I got to tell you, I had the same thing for a while. Like when I first started therapy, we kept asking me about like gay feel, like, you know, gay this, gay that. I go, listen, dude, let's cut that shit right now. I said, I got no problem with gay people. Dude, I'm not gay. Because, but, you know, you have to explore that side. And I go, bullshit. I'm not exploring that. I got no problem.
Yeah, what do you mean explore?
I like chicks, dude. Born perfectly. This idea of us being circumcised seems to me to be as barbaric as what they do in Africa when they circumcise women by removing their clitoris. I don't know what I would do if I had a son. There's part of me that thinks...
We do. Go ahead.
In a sense, I do agree with the fact, you know, being an adult and now older, just for aesthetic purposes for America, if you're going to do this, I don't know if I agree with that either, even though it doesn't really hurt their pleasure capability. That's the only difference, where Howard's, you know, obviously mistaken because he's a rube. If you cut a girl's clit off, she's not coming, so.
But he'd still be asking, did she come? Did she come?
Thinks, well, I probably just maybe go along with it. I'm so brainwashed by this. I have 3 daughters. If I had had a son, I think I would have circumcised them, even though I'm a...
You wouldn't have known he existed if you had a son. Just like you ignored your 3 daughters.
This is CNN anchor. Are you kidding me?
Jesus. I don't think there's anybody...
Baby dick for a CNN anchor. Could you picture Walter Cronkite answering this?
Yeah, I have no idea how Anderson just didn't just hang up and you heard the dial tone all of a sudden. Or whatever, the Zoom just suddenly shut down. It was horrifying to me. I can't even believe this. This isn't shock radio. This is a legit question from a guy who should know better, but is too stupid.
Could you imagine? You know how we always talk about how many times we talk about anal now in our week because of the show, and you know, anal entering and
something
in
ass related,
exiting and I'm in shock at how much I'm talking about that orifice in my life because of this show. This is the same way I'm now horrified. I'm talking about baby dick.
Anybody else disgusted? We're with you on this. Sorry, guys. We don't mean to do it. We're just bringing you the news that's fit to print. Clip number 27. Wig brings up another fruit.
I don't really know where to try to.
To me, that sounds like I'm going to take that to mean you did. circumcise yourself.
God.
You're not
see? Like, he can't get off this goddamn subject. What is this about? Anybody?
Does he want to take the foreskin and sleep in it? What is he fucking talking about? Why is he so obsessed with this?
I don't know about, like, I'm kind of mixed of two minds. Is it a shock thing? Like the way, like a throwback to when he was, I'll ask anything. I'll ask all the hard questions. Because to me, this is just too disgusting to be shocking, actually.
No, this is, we talked about with Bob D. He's in that phase of NPD where he is in a reality that's only making sense to him and supplies him with what he needs. So if we're going with that mindset, these line of questions are not shocking for him. This is what he wants to know. He wants to know about baby foreskin. What a disgusting animal.
Well, I just don't, but you don't.
Pedophiles. You get on Richard
pedophiles,
for showering. You're asking Anderson Cooper about baby foreskin.
Right. It's not because he's a health professional. I mean, he studied broadcasting, but he's asking about the top tip of his kid's unit. Fuck's sake, I don't get it.
Do you think that he's going to have his kid on if he didn't have him circumcised, like 10 years later? You know, when he's 90 and still doing the show out of his basement, for his Anderson Cooper's son Wyatt Cooper to play "What's in My Pouch"?
Well, I think you're right. It might just be some weird taboo fetish, whatever that he's got. Because I mean, if he sexualized Millie Bobby Brown, who, as far as I know, is still underage, and maybe who's to say he wouldn't go and make some fucking infant? I don't know. I mean, it's just demented.
He sexualized the Olsen twins. We all heard that clip.
And that
they were 13, and he goes, They're getting boobies. They're going to grow up nice. I mean,
they're pieces of ass.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Confirm or deny?
I don't know. No, because you always seem to
And Robin laughing, but she's always laughed whether she was uncomfortable or whether she thought something was funny. So it's irrelevant why she's laughing because it's just cover up.
Oh my God, she doesn't want to be in the field. She likes the house.
Like one of those guys. Even though you felt as a child that you did not have things explained to you, somehow you seem like you're a together guy and you have a lot of answers. I was fascinated to read somewhere, I don't know where the hell I read it, and tell me if I'm wrong, but even when Tim Cook, the head of Apple, decided to come out of the closet and to openly be gay, he turned to you and said, I really admired the way you handled that aspect of your life.
Okay, now this was a long clip that I wanted extended for the purposes. I knew we were going to discuss this. This was more projection, in my opinion. Like, how did you help Tim Cook come out?
More so than just that oddity or information. I thought out of everything you could have discussed with Anderson Cooper in his life, why would you choose this obscure topic of a guy who runs Apple that is gay and came out if it doesn't have something to do with your own personal interest? Because everything he talks about, whether it be your baby's dick's foreskin or your mother's estate or your will or Tim Cook being gay or not, this is all topics Howard is invested and interested in because he's such a narcissist. So he looked for that story. He saw or researched that and saw that maybe in the research that somebody did for him and thought, you know what? This is amazing. Let's talk about this. Why?
So do you think in the back room, let's put our heads together for a second. Do you think there's a mandate somewhere in the back office or they're at home, wherever the fuck they are, these workers, to find the bullet points that they know they're directed to look for? Gay stuff, sibling problems, fights with directors or fights with, whatever, like conflict basically, and everything else, just leave it aside. When you present it to Howard, because he's an idiot and he can't read for very long, if at all, we just focus on, make it 3 words, 4 words at most, and give him the general idea so he can do the research and go into what he wants to talk about. Do you think there's a concerted effort back in the back, like they're directed to do this?
I think that, I don't know if they're directed to, but I think when you have a boss and any sense and you know what they're looking for, or even like say you work for a law office and you know how to deal with certain clients and what they want to, how to approach things and how to approach them. It's just, I think they're just trained to know now.
Yeah, they're used to it. They're used to it now.
Yeah, this is what he will be interested in. So this is what I'm going to pull.
Yeah, I don't really know where to try to.
To me, that sounds like I'm going to take that to mean you did circumcise your son. You're not.
He will not confirm or deny.
I don't know. No, because you always seem like one of those guys. Even though you felt as a child that you did not have things explained to you. Somehow you.
Okay, go ahead.
Fillmore, could you imagine asking me about if my daughter, when she's, gets her period, uses tampons or pads? I mean, this is fucking so messed up.
It's grotesque. There's no, this is my fucking problem, folks. Where's the comedy in it if it's supposed to be funny? If it's supposed to be funny, where am I going to get the laugh from? Tell me. Instruct me.
Foreskin. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I could see it if he did it in the voice of Dracula Godfrey. It might be all right. Anderson, did you snip her foreskin? Tell me.
Listen, Anderson. Did you snip your son's dick or not? I need to know right now.
You're doing a Ray Stern impression. This is the first time ever. It's a combination of Ray Stern and Fran Drescher. I like it.
I was thinking Tracy Millman.
Tracy Millman. Okay. That makes a little more sense.
A lot of answers. I was fascinated to read somewhere. I don't know where the hell I read it, and tell me if I'm wrong. But even when Tim Cook, the head of Apple, decided to come out of the closet and to openly be gay, he turned to you and said, I really admired the way you handled that aspect of your life, and asked you for advice, called you and asked you for advice.
Okay, and I'm sorry for the repetition, guys. We did already hear this and we commented on it, but I wanted to start the clip from scratch just because of the little mix-up.
I mean, how big a deal is that? I mean, what an honor.
What an honor for the head of Apple to come out to you. Does it have to be because the guy's the head of Apple? Or because
is this the most obscene TED Talk ever? I mean, what is going on?
Just because he's famous and he came out to you?
Yeah, I don't get it. What's this? It's 2020.
Yeah.
Bruce Jenner came out as a woman.
Yeah.
This isn't a big deal. I mean, it might be to him personally, but the way Wiggy is presenting it, it would be like, I don't know, what year are we in?
He's still hung up on it, and I'm sure this is really rooted at his desire to come out of the closet finally, which he'll never do. I just don't believe it. Which, I mean, a lot of guys famous in the industry or in the real industry.
I don't get it.
They died in the closet, and they couldn't come out back then. Now, no one would give a fuck. Most people wouldn't give a fuck about Howard if he came out of the closet. They're not listening to him now.
That's the point of the person I was talking to you about, whose theory is eventually this will happen and he will come out of the closet as bisexual and his wife will stand by him, so on and so forth. Regardless if that's true or not, even right now, though, the way he's talking about Tim Cook, like coming out as gay, like it's,
wow, no one's ever done that before.
Dad. It's not. It's
Dick
fine.
Sargent.
Yeah. What the hell was his name? The Brady Bunch dad? Florence Henderson's husband?
I can't remember, but you're right. And I mean,
there's
no one. Yeah. Shit. And who's the kid? Who's the boss? The kid who played the son on Who's the Boss? He also came out later on, didn't he?
Yeah, Christopher something.
Danny Pintaro or something like that. I think his name was.
Pintaro. I'm sorry, I was thinking Christopher Knight. That was the Brady Bunch. And
okay,
right. No. I'm wrong.
No, Chris,
Let's
that's
just
all
cut
right.
this
We got.
whole word out.
Yeah, we'll leave it in. We're just going through being gay little young fruits who came out of the closet later on.
Who's gay that it was
gay?
hard to actually come out and did it? And here's what's not hard.
Right.
For someone to say you did it so well that I need to talk to you about that. Is that something you talk about? That
you did it so well. Okay, now let's be honest. There's context here. Kevin Spacey came out in the context of being accused of some awful, like, Me Too shit, basically.
Yeah,
and
he was accused
that was
of molesting young boys.
Yes, absolutely. And that was the worst thing he could have. I couldn't believe I guess that's arrogance and narcissism on his part, which sucks because I really liked Kevin Spacey as an actor, but I had like zero respect for him after all this shit came out, and not because he was gay, but because of that whole situation. And
yeah, he was on Epstein's plane too. Everyone, just letting you know.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And so the idea that, okay, oh, by the way, guys, it's okay, I'm gay, so have sympathy for me as a smokescreen for the awful shit I did. That was the worst thing he could have done. And the gay community did not support him one bit. I was so happy to see that.
Me too.
And so that's, I think, and Benjamin alluded to this in an earlier podcast, I believe, the reason why he won't come out is because there'll be a million Me Too people coming in if they know that he got gratification from all these naked guys coming in because they thought he was straight. It's not a big deal. But if he's suddenly bisexual or gay, all of a sudden this is Me Too. Like,
I understand Benjamin's theory, and I also listened to this other theory of someone who was a regular and person on the site now kind of see their point and their theory as well, and thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, if this person gets sympathy for coming out after all these years and everything he's done. So I don't know how this is going to end up, but
yeah.
It's interesting to watch him project like The Exorcist.
Oh yeah, it's that's what's most fascinating, and that's why we try, guys. I'm sorry to make this so long-winded. This episode's probably going to be 4 hours, but the reason why we cut certain clips is for this very reason. Like the idea that the projection of it's so clearly something he is interested in for a deeper reason than just shock value.
Right. Some episodes where we pull clips that it's funny and we can mock it easily, and it's back and forth banter and fun. Some episodes you get these interviews like this and you see what he's asking other people are such a reflection of himself and projection. You can't be anything but uncomfortable and introspective when you're listening. You just can't.
And you also stack it up to all the other interviews you've ever heard him do. If you're as, voracious a listener as everybody, like we were, and now are, but for different reasons, obviously. Sam?
I just watched a vintage Stern clip of him shaving a 19-year-old girl's pussy. And he had her on the show.
What year? What year was this?
So
Just an idea.
It had to be late 90s. Because she had a belly ring. Yeah, E-show, she had a belly ring in, so it looked like about like mid or late 90s. But he's shaving this girl's pussy. That was the bit. And he goes, I'm going to puke in the middle of this while he was doing it. He said, I'm going to puke. This is disgusting. In the middle of it, and he had her shave the rest herself. I was like,
wow.
Why didn't we pick up on this before?
Well, I never heard that. I would have remembered that. You know me, I'm like some kind of fucking savant when it comes to getting the fruitiest clips possible. Where
we're really spending our time in life on important things.
Yeah, this is fulfilling.
That he called you?
I never talked about it. He actually brought it up in an interview. I think maybe it was Washington Post a while ago. So that it was funny actually because the day he talked about it in an interview, I don't know, somebody called me about it, and I picked up the phone and they were like, "Oh, I'm calling about you helped him cook," and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Yeah.
So
here, basically, J.D. Cooper is basically very uncomfortable because clearly he just doesn't want to reveal anything that the Tim Cook guy said to him. So he's actually taken the high road here, trying his best to, get off this topic. It clearly makes him uncomfortable. Sam.
Yeah.
That was a good impression of Sylvester the cat answering his son.
Ron Burgundy and that news team sounds better than this. I love Lamp.
Okay.
I mean, he just doesn't even know what's going. This is a news anchor. That's how he sounds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but again, I think it's because he's just unprepared. Like if he's prepared, he's fine. If he has written stuff, he just needs to be scripted. So does Wiggy.
Right. So you think that he probably wasn't privy to these highly inappropriate questions that make me break out in fucking hives live?
I think it compelled Anderson Cooper to start book burning and beating his infant son. I have no idea out of rage. No, I'm just saying. I'm just being flippant, guys. But anyway, it's just clearly he's uncomfortable. To be fair though, I've not heard him being interviewed very often. I've seen him do the 60 Minutes interviews. I've seen him do the one-on-ones, obviously on CNN for years, and he always seems very composed and in charge, in control of himself. So I think it's just the big discomfort and the fact that he just also it's not as I don't know, doing the computer to computer teleconferencing. It's not as comfortable as when you're face to face with somebody. So I think there's a natural unease anyway.
Right, like how Bubby was screaming his ass off when he saw Howard on screen for the first time?
And before.
Maybe it's that jarring thing for Anderson. Even though he's an adult and he can't scream because he knows it's inappropriate, he's like trying to figure out, what am I looking at?
Bubby's first words were less compression. Okay. So the next clip is called "Wiggy Strangely Compelled to Continue the Coming Out Question," and it just
coming out and stuff. And look, I came out, I came out late, basically in a public setting, in a public way. So I don't know that I did it so well, but
why did you wait so long?
So you said we can't go an interview without interrupting either.
I always was curious about that. Is that because you felt your on-air persona would somehow be tainted, or you would be viewed a different way by certain sections of America, and you're just trying not to be...
it to myself.
Okay, so that's, to me, 100% projection. 100%.
Total projection. One, why are you wondering about that? That seems odd to me.
Yeah, wondering or gauging his answer. Like, let's see if he feels the same way I do about what would happen if I did.
The only way I can try to get my mindset around how fucked up he's going about this is my gay best friend. When he talks about how he came out, I never in my head thought about asking him about this in the terms that Howard is, how he's presenting it to Anderson Cooper. What Howard finds interesting is not what a friend or any person who's not a closeted fruit would think. I mean, seriously, it's so bizarre. You could be whatever you want, but you don't think like this unless you yourself feel this way.
You're going through this.
I thought about this. I wondered about this. Why? That's not what you would say.
No. And a straight person certainly wouldn't. You might ask pardon the expression, you might ask a straight up question, and wait for the answer, but you wouldn't color it in such a fashion before you ask the question. Yeah.
And I asked him, and I played this interview for him. He was so uncomfortable hearing this interview, and he just shook his head and put it down and said, God, can somebody just tell him it's okay to come out? And I'm like, I know.
Right. And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that just to be a consensus. That was his honest rational
he doesn't
thought.
know anything about this, or he just listens to segments that I make him because I'm like, listen, what do you think about this? I made him listen to the John Mayer, Andy Cohen one, and he's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
No.
I'm sorry. No, this is real.
Right.
myself in a whole lot of ways. I mean, one, I really like traveling to dangerous places and going to wars, and I like traveling to a lot of places where being gay is not something that's, it's illegal, or, you get attacked for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that from a journalist standpoint, absolutely.
And how long he's been a journalist for Don't Ask, Don't Tell, in that whole era, of course, that makes sense.
Fuck yeah, huge.
So, and I was traveling, I was early on, I was all by myself, and, I didn't have security people and stuff like that. And also I just resisted like the intrusion of then people talking about my personal life. And
right.
Even though I'm in a public job, I do like to be kind of,
private is what he was trying to say, basically. Now, again, go ahead, Sam.
Don't you think he seems defeated when he gave the answer that obviously made sense? Your life could be compromised because you're a journalist and you're going into unsafe situations where gay could get you killed.
Yeah, especially in the Middle East.
He finished that conversation by saying he sounded deflated almost.
Sure.
That's
you mean Wiggy did? Wiggy did?
Yes.
Or
Howard did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both did. I think in Anderson's case, he's just exhausted.
Oh. That's not what I'm looking for, because I need some trail to lead me.
So you're saying he didn't get an answer that was what is already in his mind.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. That's an interesting way to put it. The 29 is called Projection AC Contract Talk. Now this was one of the big clips that I know people are going to want to hear.
So we got the CNN job, we got the 60 Minutes job. That's nice. I mean, having those two is a coup. It's fantastic.
But he gave Ryan Seacrest shit for having 19 quote unquote jobs, and this is
he
cool.
fucked with his friend Kelly Ripa, who was being treated subpar because her co-host was leaving behind her back and nobody was talking to her about it. And he had the nerve to bring that up and call her like a toddler tantrum for not showing up to work. Didn't her husband officiate your fake bullshit wedding?
Yeah.
Where your wife looked like a stripper with a bow on her ass?
And when is here's the thing. When is the contract up with CNN? Because you're sitting pretty right now.
I don't know that anybody wants a contract to be up during a...
Okay, so he's gone after Anderson for his mother's will, discussing the marbles situation. He's gone after his coming out. How did you come out? And now he's going to go into his contract. The only thing he hasn't asked is to see his fucking dick. And
again, do you think that America right now wants to hear about these multi-millionaire elitist contracts during this?
Yeah.
When they didn't even probably get their fucking $1,200 stimulus check. Just saying. Thanks, Howard.
But beyond that, it's also this one, you'll find it's very telling because he discusses getting multi-year contracts to make sure, like money that's guaranteed to come in. And that's something he's always insisted on with Don Buchwald, because they can't leave anything to chance. They cannot leave it to performance-based salary, because he would have been fired fucking 10 years ago, easily.
Global pandemic.
Wouldn't that be like going to school and you're already saying, I'm going to go to the school, but you're going to graduate me no matter what. No matter how I perform, I'm going to fail every exam. I'm going to be lazy and late and perform subpar, but you're still going to graduate me with honors and valedictorian. It's insane.
What kind of Olympics would you get if you gave every single competitor a gold medal? What kind of race do you think you'd have then? You know what I mean? Like if there's no incentive to actually perform, what do you expect from? What kind of work ethic do you expect? And we could do this another time as a deep dive into the first year of Sirius and the bullshit, but the notebook of ideas that went nowhere. Benjamin did a great breakdown, which we'll try to maybe track him down and get the ins and outs of that one.
Otherwise,
listen, never mind that nonsense. I know you're a good guy. We get it. But business is business. When is and you're right. It's a shitty time to negotiate. CNN's like, we don't know, we don't know if we have any money. But when is your contract up with CNN?
It's a shitty time, but Howard's thinking, I don't give a fuck. Pay me. Fuck you. Pay me. Fuck you. Pay me.
Okay, listen. listening to this live, I went into my second round of uncomfortable. So again, we're talking about money, but we're talking about money and contracts, which are confidential meetings. And in my own job, I have such a ingrained in myself of confidentiality and how important that is. I was so much more uncomfortable during this conversation. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen to him. He's flustered. Like he can't. That wasn't me like pausing it. I unpaused it, and that was seconds of how do I answer this fucking idiot about something I don't.
You can answer it.
No.
You do know.
I got a couple of years. I'm very happy. I'm very lucky.
You have a couple of years. If I was MSNBC, dare I say anybody, CBS is not. If they come to you, Anderson, you're killing it on CNN.
This is him with his first serious deal. Sam's hyperventilating right now. I sent this picture to Raven and Josie, and whoever else wants to see it. I think you'll find it amazing. I think the parallel is striking because he basically wants to hold people over the barrel to get his own contracts, and that's what it was with AGT. They had to move the production over to New York. It was going to cost more money. It was way harder to get talent because most of the talent is in the West Coast, let's be honest. And then ultimately, like, they had this huge salary and he got all these perks and shit, and they lost in the ratings. So it was not worth it for them. And they learned from that mistake. Poor Sam. She's fanning herself now. You didn't make the sound, though.
I mean, honestly, this is just making me so, like, uncomfortable. I can't. It's money and contracts and what you're going to get and what you might get. And it's such personal financial things that should not be in an interview. It should not. Yeah. These are goings of I is so uncomfortable.
Well, did he ever make his negotiations fucking public? No. He bitched and moaned on the air, but did he actually get into the nitty-gritty? He was called to the front of the classroom in live interviews when they said, "Well, you don't talk about money." And he said, "Listen, there's a reason why I don't talk about money. I don't want plumbers ripping me off. I don't want a plumber to go to my mansion and get the idea I have money."
I wish Anderson Cooper would say, "I would talk to you about my contract, but my toilet's plugged. Can you fuck off?"
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to make you an offer. We're going to double your salary. A 5-year, no-cut deal.
No cut deal.
You would leave CNN, would you not?
See that? Howard would leave anywhere that'll pay him more money. That's just the bottom line. He's not concerned with job satisfaction or how they're kissing his ass. If you can pay him more, you'll get him. He's a whore. He's just like anybody else. He'll fucking bend over for the right price.
God. If I was on The Apprentice, I'd be first one out. I can't handle these meetings.
Very happy. You value being truthful. Come on.
I'm very happy. I'm. First of all, no one's going to double.
Are there things you want that you can't do at CNN?
Robin trying her best to salvage this question. She just can't do it.
No.
God! I wish Anderson had the knowledge to be like, well, let's talk about how your contracts went since you lost that lawsuit. Let's flip it on its head.
Since you accused the judge of being on her period.
What are your viewers? How are those? What is your viewership like? What is your presence on social media like? Let's talk about how you pay your staff.
Let's talk about the GoFundMe.
100 News fired. How's Scott the engineer's wife doing?
Yep, absolutely.
Flip it on its head.
Oh God, I would love so badly for someone to be in studio and just start like punishing him like that. And he'd be he'd be into a corner because he couldn't suddenly cut to commercial. He'd have to answer these questions.
This would be the perfect opportunity because this is a celebrity. Not only he wants to blow to death, but he respects him, needs him, and he wouldn't know what hit him. So this would be the perfect time if Anderson studied the show a little bit and felt disrespected, which he should feel disrespected talking about this. Turn it on its head and nail the fucker.
The only person I saw, there's only a few people I saw that turned him on his head, and that was Yanni, the New Age guy, right? When Wiggy went after him, it was one of the first interviews at Sirius, and he asked him, "What happened with you and Linda Evans?" He goes, "Well, what happened with you and your wife?" And Howard shut the fuck up. He shut the fuck up, and he just decided, okay, trying to go another way, like a cornered rat. If you confront him on his own shit, he always backs down, always. So
minutes, I'm able to work at CNN.
Why are you saying that if MSNBC would double your salary and give you any slot you want, you would not consider it?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is the other weird thing he does with all of his guests, no matter what industry they work for. He always makes some sort of adversarial relationship between them and their coworkers, them in the network they work for, them in the movies they work for, them and the directors they work with, them and the producers they work with. It doesn't matter what field they're in. Wiggy creates a fake or imaginary conflict about it, and he drills these people and they let him, which I don't get. Just tell him, hey, remember blackface picture, like, done. I'm done with this interview. You want to talk about my fucking contract some more? Here's you in blackface. Goodbye.
You want to bring up my kid's dick? Why don't we play some of that Emily Stern play? Why don't we show her dancing at that party with the armpit hair?
How big are the Olsen twins' boobs getting at 13?
There's so much shit you could throw in his face.
Mean, why is he tolerating this?
I don't understand. I think it's something else. Once again, Benjamin, we're sorry we quote you so much. We should give you a little a copyright credit. But the thing is, he counts on people being very kind. He counts on people being more polite than he would be. And they are. Most of them, they just put themselves through it. Most people are courteous enough to not have the disrespect in their own blood to go, okay, well, fuck you. But if you got someone like a Pat Cooper, he wouldn't sit there for this shit. In fact, he wouldn't be able to talk him down.
And I said this I told you about the conversation I had and what we were talking about earlier. I will tolerate it for so long, but at some point, even if you think you owe your career or some sort of payback or you get me, I get you sort of thing, there is no there's no way that no one should tolerate this. If you don't stand your ground at some point against what a piece of shit he is, I don't know. There's only so much.
Well, you're accepting it, you're tolerating it, you're saying it's okay, you're saying it's acceptable. And the fact is, it's fine. You can actually just go on and say, yes, this guy helped me make my career, but this isn't the same person anymore. And there was a schism then, and that's how you justify it. That's how you say, look, I did owe this guy something, but look what he's become. This isn't the same person. Anderson
Cooper is a respected journalist and has old money. He's going on the show doing you a favor. So why is he tolerating this? I don't understand.
I don't know either.
No, I don't think MSNBC doesn't have people traveling around the world. And
what have they said? We're thinking of having people travel around the world.
Total creative freedom.
You know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about a lot of stuff, but they're not doing it. So CNN's doing it, and that's what I'd like to do. And
look at you. What a horrible negotiator you are.
I'm terrible.
I'm like my mom. Look at
I am my mother's son. Money is not my thing. I wish it was.
Go ahead.
$1 billion, and I'm going to sue you in 5 years. That's how you should negotiate.
Cut his salary.
Yeah, really. Why bother paying you at all?
Look, Howard, can you negotiate for me? I would be more than that.
You know what? I need to call you off the air and give you a good head straightening.
I would like it.
And let me put you on the phone with Ben Stern, and he'll manage your money for you. The next clip is called Wiggy Pisses All Over AC. So hold on. It's a really short one.
To get there.
Yeah.
And
how long before we start drinking our own urine? Give me a prediction. Just that. By the way, I'm admiring.
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
By the way, Anderson.
That was just in terms of talking about the COVID-19. We skipped all that over, and then the context was, how bad is it going to get, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, haven't you tasted Ralph's urine plenty of times?
You're not no pee play for Anyone out there? It's so gross.
So this next one is called Kicking Andrew Cuomo.
Disgust.
Kicking Andrew Cuomo to the curb already.
Anderson, I am admiring the room that you're in. It looks beautiful.
He brought up the fucking room 3 times. This is the second time in the interview. You'd think he wants to fuck the bookcase.
Wouldn't you, if your house looked like a 1999 Hilton? I mean, it's so...
I thought you liked this, actually. Yeah.
I mean, what a catch you are. You've got a great apartment.
Let me see if I can...
Oh, God.
Look, I love this library.
Yeah.
I won't read anything in it, but I love it.
Here, wait, hold up, Anderson. Let's count sconces in our office.
I got this image at Howard's place. If you push the right thing, it'll be like young Frankenstein. Put the candle back. This door opens up. That goes flying in.
So I live in an old firehouse, and it's beautiful. I wanted the whole thing to be like a cabinet of curiosities, like the home of an explorer from the late 1800s who had like come back and lives in this house full of all the stuff that they've collected over the years.
Fabulous. What a catch you are. Can't believe you're not dating.
But now you can't date.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if somebody told me about how he just presented decorating his house, which is, a curiosity and a lot of history and origin and different cool knickknacks or books or, whatever.
Like a
the last thing I would say is, what a catch you are.
Yeah, I really, it might say like.
These responses, by the way, are gay. So just in case anyone's not understanding this, Howard wants Anderson Cooper and Cuomo. Bye.
Yeah,
we have a new jerk-off crush of the week, everyone.
I've kicked your dick to the curb.
No, I'm on Instagram.
Do you have anyone? Are you really truly single? You do not have someone, a guy like you?
You hear that lust in his voice? Are you really single? Do you have that? He sounds like a Jewy Barry White. Oh, baby.
This when I made my friend Jake listen to this, said his face went like oh my God, right. Because this is what you would say if you were him.
Like, where's the wink in the
about
where's the wink? Where's the wink in the voice that lets you know this is a joke? That's my whole point. Where's the sort of tell that, this is a joke? There's no joke.
Great. Come out, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
You're single. Jesus Christ.
I'm single and, with my ex, raising a kid.
Well, you're the most eligible dad in New York right now. I'm claiming that.
Oh, sorry, Cuomo. You just lost your Burger King crown.
Yeah, you're going to have to console yourself with Robin, both of her. The next clip is called When I Hate Zoom.
Because it's horrible. I mean, everyone's talking over each other. I was a part of these Zoom meetings. I go out of my mind. I hate it. I'm not looking for people. I'm not that lonely, honestly.
I'm not that lonely. The next clip, number 33. Wiggy never denies himself a meal, i.e. Ralph's unit.
I'm against
intermittent fasting.
Yes, yes, but not even like every day intermittent fasting. Yeah,
I hate it. Yeah. I don't like it. You know what? I'm not going to deny myself eating. It's my only pleasure. I am not going.
It's my only pleasure. Those 6 almonds. That's when I think about halfway through my day and I want to come home to that plate of, what was it called? Elio's Pizza. All this Mama Mancini's meatballs.
I'm in such shock. It's so it's my only. But listen to this conversation. There are people who can't pay for groceries right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're listening to this asshole who's considering almond skin maybe fattening.
I've just got this image of Howard when he goes home. He's like Bugs Bunny when he's with Christopher Columbus, and they're on the ship for so long. All they got instead of turkey is a bean. So he opens up the turkey thing and goes, "What'll it be? White meat or dark meat?" He's just trying to cut the bean.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Look, you're locked up with a kid. You're not dating anyone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Locked up with a kid.
Locked up with a kid.
That's
a loving parent.
That might as well, to Howard, be locked up with a nuclear bomb about to explode. It's so horrible.
Yeah, can look forward to something. What are you, a monk? I mean, eat something. I mean, you are in good shape. I got to hand it to you. You got a 6-pack?
No, I wish.
Oh my God! What in the fucking Christ? What are you fucking kidding me right now?
I think I know what his next watercolor is going to be.
What is he going to be? What is he going to fucking trace a Da Vinci on the window and watercolor over it?
Like, with a great bookcase in back.
You know, like the perfect anatomy.
Anderson Cooper, the nude, the thinker.
You got the Peloton.
I mean, I didn't know what else to do, and it took forever.
I'm sorry. I try. So they bring it up, Peloton and that Hydro. I didn't realize Hydro is just a rowing machine with the same video screen or whatever that a Peloton has. And I thought to myself, what happened to fucking exercise bikes and rowing machines that you need video to, help you get through, like virtual canals you're rowing through?
I wish she would just go on a canal and row herself out to sea and never return.
Yeah. Come on, Anthony, I'll show you how to catch a fish every time.
You gotta say Hail Mary.
In Peloton, and I have a Hydro also. That's a rowing machine with a teacher at the end of it.
Oh, I know the Hydro. I was a coxswain in college, so I could give you lots of rowing advice.
That's spelled coxswain, COXWSWAIN, I believe. I never knew how it was pronounced, but we had loads of rowers in my high school, and I heard the term all the time. I just didn't know what the fuck it meant.
I did too. It's called COCKSMITH.
Cocksmith.
Well, let me tell you something. I wish I had been.
No,
I wish I'd been a coxman in college. I got to tell you, and I want you to get to your.
I was banging the hottest girl on campus. Listen to me, guys. Everyone wanted this woman. Everyone.
You had to settle with being a cocksucker.
But I got to tell you, I got that Peloton and the Hydro. And I love it. I hate an exercise bike, but with the teachers on there, I get motivated.
Do you have a teacher you like?
Well, Peloton Jen Sherman, I take her class because it's a reasonable class, and she is good at explaining. But now I've gone through.
You pedal. You pedal. What kind of lesson do you need?
For chess, eating, Roomba, fucking Peloton. He needs a tutor for sitting down on a couch. I swear to God.
Sam, do you think he has training wheels on his Peloton? Do you think he has someone holding him? Do you think he has something holding him while he's on the Peloton to make sure he doesn't fall over?
Do you think Beth and Helen push him off? Like, all right, ready? You're ready. You're balanced. You're balanced. Do you think he skids his knees?
And he's got those those little old helmets that only cover half the head.
He gets gravel in his knees.
It's pre-distressed. His jeans already have gravel built into them. To make it look as though he's just been dirt biking up the mountain.
All of her classes. Now I'm on to Hannah Marie Corbin is my teacher. And we got to hear this. She says to me, listen, if you're one of my riders, I want you drinking half your body weight in water every day. What? Yeah, in other words, in ounces. So let's say I weigh 200 pounds. That's 100.
You're half the size of Robin.
Yes. Ounces. Yeah. And that's like 11 bottles.
Go ahead. It's almost over. Poor Sam.
People are starving and he's worried about fucking taking in 11 bottles of water.
The next clip is called I Pished Through the Night.
Do you think he could do a commercial with Sally Struthers?
I used to love those. Hold on.
Flies on his eyes, pedaling.
Yeah. Okay.
4 times.
Hold on. Let me get this one again.
11 bottles. I'm pishing through the night 4 times.
Pish. That doesn't
What
make
is that? What is that? But what is pishing? Why?
Well, that's some Yiddish-ism. It's just something like he straight out of the Friars Club. But yeah, there's no one else in my life.
She does it on Instagram. She said the other day she had 2 new cats. She goes, they're getting out of the bathroom and they're going to the big room, and here's their first pish. And she took a picture of them in the laundry, in the litter box, and I'm like, pish. The
Pish.
Cats are pishing?
Yeah.
What?
Depish mode. Okay. Can you read number 36?
Oh my God. Oh fuck. There's another cocksucker born every minute.
By the way, I reread your book on all your great interviews, and it's.
Oh no. You didn't.
What's that?
If he reread his book, I want him off of CNN now.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
Which was amazing, but it's great to reread. It's like you can pick it up anywhere, read it. Yeah.
Clip number 37. Give the wig a cock, any size, any age.
Congratulations on your baby, and I'm circumcised.
Holy fuck. What the hell? Was he a bris? Was he at the bris? I mean, what is going on?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Roving gangs of moils going around hospitals.
Rabbi Spee.
Yeah, right. So the last one, 30. It's almost done this particular day. Can you read number 38? Please.
Honestly, right now, I'd rather scalpel off your fucking foreskin.
Okay, I'll do it. Zvi circling around the anus 3 times.
All right, listen, Anderson. You've said a lot. You've blown the lid off of everything.
I think we've been around the world. I think we did 360.
Let it play through, please. We're gonna let this one play through.
With Anderson.
We did. We really did. I think we've exhausted every topic. And I love your apartment. It looks like the Batcave. You might be Batman. Who knows?
Anytime you want to come by and take a tour, I'm sure I got a lot of actually art you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And in fact, because it was a firehouse, you have a pole to slide down. I particularly enjoy. You do?
Really?
Yeah. But I have like contemporary, but also like old master paintings and stuff. It's an interesting.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
He wasn't listening, Anderson. He was actually just focusing on the whole pole thing.
Yeah, remember how he's such a good painter? He gives a shit about a fucking shitty fire pole.
Oh, I'm there then. Oh, trust me. All right.
There could be a Monet. There could be a Monet.
What's that?
There could be a Monet. There could be a Monet in his fucking apartment, and he would be caring about being like J-Lo. He could be like, he wants to be like J-Lo in the fucking Super Bowl. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we'll drink one of those club sodas together. It'll be exciting. All right. Anyway, Anderson Cooper, everyone. Thank you, Anderson.
Thanks.
Bye.
Be safe, as they say.
Okay, go ahead.
Could you imagine a worse time drinking club soda with this fucking bore who's fucking, stands like a broken tree in a storm, and he's going to come into your house and you think he's going to appreciate your art, and he just wants to rub his asshole on your fucking fire pole?
I might make a Photoshop of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Instead of using twigs, just use the one image of Howard as the branches.
So true. He just wants to fucking, twerk. He wants to be Cardi B all over Anderson Cooper's firehouse.
Right, Robin? Always say be safe.
Be safe. That's right.
This Anderson's a real catch.
If I was a gay man, I would be all in on this guy.
All literally.
He wouldn't know what hit him.
Well, the two of you would drive each other crazy, though.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi, Robin, knowing he's gay. Nah, this is how you know. Here, listen, guys.
Yeah.
He's with me.
You would
All
give it
that
to him
would-
really good.
Oh, very hard. Very hard. You wouldn't know what hit him. Absolutely, Robin.
All right. Well, that's
I like
something
it.
he's missing.
Yep, he is missing out. He wouldn't know what hit him.
3 times he said this. 3 times, guys.
But I will take him
Well,
up
you
on
two would
that.
be an attractive couple.
Oh, yes. Well, me and my mask, you mean.
And the last clip of this particular day is called Wiggy, the Channel 9 workaholic.
Yeah, but we had a fun time with those people over at Channel 9. It was, it was stressful, but
It was a lot. That
lot of
was
work.
too much going on.
yeah. To say I was a workaholic is insane. I mean, that's putting it mildly.
He was a workaholic. He was a big pain in the ass. I find it funny that the Channel 9 thing was brought up just after we did this roast. That we did the
find
talking.
that funny.
Okay, we're going into.
I'm in like a laughing, fucking. I'm in that phase of
Coma.
like I'm in such a shock laugh phase. I get like this sometimes when we do these, where I'm like, oh, this is so
Blacked out.
fucking awful. I might as well just fucking soldier on. It would be like, the death march after we were liberated from camps, but then they fucking kept making him walk.
The March to Bataan. Okay, well, listen. If you're gonna eat shit, you may as well finish the plate.
It's not like that at all. It's just me being insensitive and stupid.
That's all right. May 13th clips. This first one is called Projection. Tisk tisk, no risk for King Baby.
You're an intellectual. I think it is such a big decision, not for Bill, but
Now, let me explain this one. It's George Stephanopoulos. It's all George Stephanopoulos except for the end when he talks about Ralph. And so that's all we focused on this particular day. So the conceit here is he's talking about, what a risk going with Bill Clinton on his first presidential campaign. I mean, anyway.
for you to go take a year out of your life when you're supposed to be getting your whole career together and devote yourself to one candidate, and if the candidate turns out to be an asshole or he turns out to really screw things up, you've wasted your time essentially. And
everything has risks associated with it, but but look at the flip side, the chance to work on a presidential campaign, which is both exciting and challenging and meaningful.
Now, again, it's the projection because Wiggy never actually goes out and risks himself. That's why you've seen the show
Unless
again and
you're
again.
a fucking total idiot, you realize if you're in a political field, these are the risks you do take to get your career furthered. That's an extremely amazing opportunity if you're a politician or working within a political campaign to be able to. That's what they do. So
Right.
People who are in government or in politics are always looking to leverage their career or what's their next move, and it's always based on terms or how they succeed or the person that they're supporting succeeds. So everything he would have done, whether it would have been supporting Bill Clinton or somebody else, it's all a risk because that's the career. But you have this dumb fuck asking, aren't you worried about the risk? Do you know who you're talking to, Howard?
Right.
Do you know what field he's in?
Not only that, but the idea that, okay, first of all, he goes on to explain, I was 29 years old. What was going to be what's the downside if we lose? He's going to get experience of working on a presidential campaign. Most people don't even get to do that. And it would, even if he'd just been a losing, even if he'd lost the election, he still would have been a presidential candidate debating on a national stage. You're behind the scenes and all this. You're going to get hired again. You're 29 years old, even if the guy you're with failed. But he didn't. And Howard's afraid of failure constantly. That's why
Totally.
you don't see. That's why all the high school years, Howard Stern high school years, the Doomsday, all that shit never got off the ground because he didn't want to actually put money on something he knew it might do, like a Louis C.K. and lose the money because it was a failure. He never wants to risk it. He's not going to be like Vince McMahon with the XFL, who lost like, I don't know, $100 million on this stupid idea originally. But he tried.
It goes back to the original thing that we were talking about. Look at Cooper. His advice to him for a contract or a career. He's so gonna do the safe thing that's gonna make him money without doing work and
absolutely
stay with ever.
Yep. So the next one, projection. The world's greatest dad wants George to hate his kids.
Yeah, I thought, like, I wasn't sure if it was driving you crazy being out with Allie and the girls, because you have such a you work harder than anybody I know. I mean, because you got the Sunday show and you do the 5 days a week at Good Morning.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, people at Burger King work harder than him. So everyone essentially in the world wins this trophy of working harder than him.
Yep.
Morning America. And you're so trained to be kind of away from your family that all of a sudden the culture shock of you being in the house with the girls and Allie for like that.
Culture shock? It's a culture shock to be with your family? Wow.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Deborah, Emily, and what's the last one?
Yeah. we speak all four of your names. I don't know that this is any greater illustration of himself revealing about his own home life with his kids, what they were going through. They must have been starved for. You want to talk starving for father hunger? Starving for a father.
If you think it's a culture shock to be with your family, you are a fucked up person.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no two ways.
To you, and you have to adjust to them, and it's gotta be it's gotta be weird.
It's gotta be weird. Can you read? We could keep going on that, but I'd like to try to get through as many of these as possible. Clip number 3. Can you read it? I'd love you to read this one.
Alex Trebek, you get the fuck back into that coffin, asshole.
Would you consider?
Here we go.
Well, wait a minute. Here we go. What are you talking about? This guy makes $20 million a year. He's making more than you are with all that crazy schedule of yours. You go in, 8 times a year and record a few Jeopardy episodes and act like you're interested.
How much of that? So we've got, I'm not concerned with a guy who's got cancer, long-term maybe the greatest game show host of all time, and much beloved by most of the world, more than Wiggy by far. His money that he makes. And fuck him, can George take him over? And also, when you get the job, take the money and run and don't really give a fuck. That's honestly, that's his takeaway.
Yes, you're right. It would be like saying, listen, Artie's a drug addict. He's almost dead. Let's win Artie's job right now while he was still on the show. It's disgusting.
It's horrible.
And it would be
such an amazing job.
Alex has done a wonderful job, but life goes on. What would you take that?
What a value!
Told you I'd get you guaranteed $23 million a year.
But I bet you this.
Go ahead.
He'd value his life if his widow said, "Please sit front row for the funeral."
It only depends on who else was going.
$1 million a year for you, or are you up to 15%?
No, I'm not taking anything. I would like to see you handle this. I think you'd be good at it.
I think it would be a lot of fun, but I like what I'm doing too.
Would you do that in conjunction with Good Morning America?
Go ahead.
What is this line of questioning he's doing with people?
Between Anderson Cooper, journalist, and George Stephanopoulos, a political pundit now, but had experience in government as well, going on about their contracts and would they like this job and money. It really is like that clip I showed you of Eugene Levy, Brian Johns, Money Talks with Brian Johns, like asking just about money. And they used to give Stuttering John shit about asking people what they made all the time. Now that's all he does.
Does he?
That's not all he does. But
John Buchwald? Honestly, does he think his job now in quarantine is I'm the Buchwald agency? So I'm going to negotiate for all of my guests right now. That's the show. Because really, that's what's happening.
The agency is called You, Me, and Svi.
Well, now you're being a real agent.
I'm putting it to you. I want to know if you're throwing your hat in the ring on this.
I'm not going to be Sherman-esque about it.
This reminds me of Apollo and Rocky. Like, are you doing it? Are you gonna put your hat in the ring? Are we doing this? Are we going for this? This is crazy, stupid. Yeah. I can't even.
Yeah, it's just conjecture.
I'm being so political for you, Howard.
Cold-blooded conjecture.
I'm going to dance all over the place.
I think he would do this.
I think you're up for it.
I think he wants it.
I think you're brave.
You can quote from every Rocky, can't you?
For God's sake.
Oh my God. She just took a fucking Vicodin for sure.
That's right. Clip number 4 is called Depression and Marbles Make the World Go Round.
When you left the White House, you said, I had stress, I had fatigue, I had depression. When you say depression, were you suffering from depression? Did you go see a psychiatrist?
Bingo! Anybody got therapy? He didn't. Did he ask? I don't think he asked Anderson Cooper if he did therapy. Did he? We didn't cover that at all. We certainly didn't hear it.
I'm so horrified by the question. I can't. Do you honestly, with all this, expect me back into
have some recall?
Nonsensical files in my mind that I have just now planted? This is in my brain forever.
You could be dreaming of floating foreskins.
I've dreamed of shit. But here,
what?
No.
What?
I don't even remember the question.
Don't worry about it.
I started in the White House, did it for several years. Afterwards, I would say it was edging as much toward anxiety as depression, but it was
okay.
Definitely
the press secretary for the fucking United States, the president, the press secretary. Yeah, a little stressful. Just a little bit more stressful with your fucking radio job. Yeah,
a little stressful. That's being kind. It's horribly stressful, especially when you're dealing with somebody fucking people at will all the time. Yeah. So listen, if you have your 90s version of JFK, yeah, you're going to have a real rough fucking time dealing with all of this. And I'm sure he did deal with a ton of stress. Howard, on the other hand, none.
Yeah, I think he goes under the clip to explain that, and this is telling, actually. He is a proponent of TM. He does TM as well. And I wonder, like, all these celebrities that I never knew did transcendental meditation. It makes a lot of sense when they get together and interview each other and stuff. And it explains a lot more. Because, again, guys, sorry, it's a bit culty, TM. Sorry.
Wearing on me.
Do you think that everyone just, like, fucks off on Pedo Lolita Island? I mean, seriously, this is so messed up. Everyone does these weird... all of these people do this thing that no one else does. We all aren't privy to and understand. I'm like, what is this culture? Everyone's supposed to be so enlightened from TM and garner all this understanding, and yet we hear Howard with billions of dollars, or these pundits who are supposed to know more than us, and they don't make sense to me. So,
well, I think it's a frivolous thing. I think it's just a rich, frivolous thing. Like, you've got time on your hands, you fucking used meditation. I mean, I understand exercise being a stress reliever. Absolutely. Most doctors would recommend it. Most doctors would not go, why don't you go on a retreat and practice levitating?
Go to a health spa when somebody needs you.
When you're mired in guilt.
I was actually feeling better by the time I left, but continued to see a therapist for many years after that.
Because I also think it's a financial consideration too. When someone's as educated as you and as high up as you were, in the Clinton administration and successful, you're still not making a lot of money, right? I mean, you're in government.
Okay, so we just went from talking about emotional situations like depression, which have nothing to do with concrete conversation like money and financials, but now he has suddenly transitioned from he's said Fillmore's making it rain on the computer right now. I'm just kidding.
And you know that romance with no finance is a damn nuisance.
Oh, yeah, not relative. I mean, relative to most Americans, it's not a bad salary at all.
No, understood, but not the kind of money you make in TV.
No.
Yeah, because Howard thinks Gloria Vanderbilt's $3,500 for a painting is fucking coffee cup change.
That's right.
So
this one made me fucking angry because it's just, and this we don't use, usually it's projection, but in this case, number 5, it's called Hypocrisy. Thy name is Tzvi.
I still call Bill Clinton. Do you guys have a personal relationship, or do you check in with one another?
No, I mean, I see him once or twice a year in various events, but no, we're not on the phone or anything like that.
Oh, I see. I thought it was a much closer relationship there. I thought that like you, Hillary, and Bill talk all the time.
Yeah, like you talk with Artie and Billy and fucking Scott
and
Einziger.
Donald Trump.
And Scott Salem. While he was working there, you wouldn't talk to him. Or he thinks Adam West and Burt Ward. Burt Ward, is that his name? The Batman and Robin? Yeah, I think so. I'm confusing Burt Young.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam West and Burt Ward. He thinks that Batman and Robin off the set were best friends and stuff. Right. I mean, they worked together.
What an idiot!
You didn't think that.
I swear to God, I did.
Really?
Well, why wouldn't I think?
Oh my God!
Oh,
Does he
you
think
worked
Bert
with the
and
guy.
Ernie are still fucking gay together and having a good day? What's going on?
He's thinking about fucking Stephanopoulos rubber ducky. Well, the thing is, so his logic was, well, you work together. How many people you work with that you don't fucking talk to anymore? And you completely wrote out of your life, asshole. Ask Tim Sabian how fucking often you're hearing from him, shithead. Number 6. Want to read number 6?
You have to bring it up bigger on my screen. For some reason, it's gone small.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. It doesn't get much bigger, the font. I have to...
I love... Oh, I got it. Oh, wait. Why is it still small? Share screen. No.
Oh. Robin no longer content to keep her stupidity to the end of the show.
I can't see you.
That you're the host of Good Morning America. I mean, your father probably was upset at first. He wanted you to be a priest.
Well, that was a long time ago. And I think they're proud of what I've done.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of a priest? Not a Catholic priest.
Orthodox.
Okay.
Yeah, most Greeks are born and raised into Greek Orthodox. You fucking idiot. I've never met a Greek Jew. I've never met a Catholic Greek. Although later on you can switch religions as you get to be an adult. But what kind of fucking question is that? How wouldn't you know that? Anyway.
Well, great. Sorry. It's just because they research really well.
Okay,
they do a good job when a guest comes on. They know nothing.
That's right. Number 7 is called "Okay, Dum Dum."
You're an intellectual. I know that. You should see what this guy reads. George once recommended a book to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this kills me because didn't we just hear from Anderson Cooper? My dad learned everything he needed to know from reading the New York Times front to back. He knew everything. He's a bright guy from that. And now here we have jerk you off scholar conversation.
Yeah.
About a chess player. It was fabulous. Right? I loved it. What was the name of that book again?
Looks like he really cared about it. Are you fucking kidding me?
I watched the movie.
What's your favorite color? I don't know, Robin. What was the name of my color again?
What was the name of my favorite color?
George had recommended a book to me, and how many books do I read? But I read this book.
The last book he read was Itsy Bitsy.
The last book he read is Yoda Gets a Buddy.
If you have any other book suggestions, I would read them. Oh, the list you sent back was like for quantum physics.
He'd read the suggestions. He wouldn't read the books.
And, books you read are truly intellectual. And I was embarrassed because you wrote me back and said, hey, do you have any good books that you've read? I'd like a list from you.
Yeah, I have one. I have one. Oh, my dog.
Yeah.
And with the bass player. What?
A book about the Go-Go's. That's what he's going to recommend.
Didn't she finger herself and somebody caught that on camera?
I don't remember.
It was like on the VH1 behind the music.
Yeah. Can you read number 8? That one might be a little clearer.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Very clever.
But you got to do it. Do it. Yeah, sometimes that's the only way.
Geez, I mean, I'm wondering about your connection. Your voice goes in and out from where you are.
Am I going out? Really?
Yeah, it's a little hard to.
You have decent internet here. I'm hearing you fine.
George sounds like he's digging tunnels with the Viet Cong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Hear you better. I have so much to talk to you about. Maybe get closer to the mic. Possible?
Right, yeah, right. It's right in my face now, but.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Oh. Do you think maybe he's trolling him just so he could look like he's blowing his microphone?
Maybe. Can you do number 9, please?
I can't believe this is my life. Wiggy, such a full life. Wiggy dreaming of being the meat in a Stephanopoulos sandwich.
Yeah, listen, with George's sex life with Ali, he would not be able to be a celibate priest. There's no question. It's a legendary thing. Whenever you get together with George and his wife, I mean, you get the lecture that these two have tremendous amounts of sex. It is a known thing, as we know. But
I'm gonna go past.
It's like two beards promoting two. It's like there must be some sort of fucking beard network here that I'm not privy to.
I was going to ask you. There's no way that
oh fuck no,
there's no way that Georgie's not Fanuc, right?
Listen,
and I have to be fair. I actually like.
It would be like asking me if you think Paul Lynde gave it to his wife at Bye Bye Birdie hard. It's not happening.
Was that... We can't go without a Paul Lynde reference.
What's the matter with kids?
Apparently the story goes, Paul Lynde, everybody saw Anne Margaret, they all met her. He goes, well, I must be the only person in the room that doesn't want to fuck Anne Margaret.
That is exactly how I picture this network of beards. It's fucking. So we got Beth. We have that. Obviously, she couldn't act in anything anymore. I mean, do you find Allie, whatever her name is, Wentworth? What's her name?
Allie Wentworth.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I will tell you though. She had a show on Stars years ago. Yeah, she used to be on this show called Head Case and Stars. It was 3 seasons. I loved it.
Beth used to have boobs too.
There's a thing called 2 words, guys. In vitro. Number 11 is called Wiggy Undresses Georgie with His Crazy Eyes.
Oh, very nice. That was the first date. Lunch.
Oh, lunch.
And lunch is smart for a guy who was a bachelor like you, and you were quite the ladies' man. You were having a good date.
Did you hear that lag?
Lunch.
I think he calls it the lunch philosophy. All right, Sophocles.
Am I correct on that?
I was sure.
Sure. I mean, listen, you're handsome. You're a good catch. You make a good living. I mean, I would imagine. So.
We got 2 guys back-to-back interviews. You're a good catch. You're handsome. One of them has a 6-pack. He's asking. Clip number 12. I'm sorry. Clip number 12. Break out the rape whistle, folks.
Do you know how surface level these comments are? Do you remember when you would make fortune tellers as a kid and you'd fold the paper and then you'd origami the paper and you'd be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'd write the answers.
4. Homo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fudge packer.
That is how surface level these question answers are. It's a high school, middle school origami fortune teller on lined paper.
Let's flip a coin. Heads, you blow me. Tails, I let you.
You were the hottest bachelors during the 90s. In fact, on the TV show Friends, they fantasized about you being naked. Did you take that as a compliment?
Sure. That's,
What?
it was one of the craziest days in my life up until that point, because I didn't know it was coming.
Poor Sam. She's lost to the ages, guys. I'm sorry. We do this to you. Might be a two-parter.
Mired in 90s irrelevant facts. I fled to a health spa.
Okay. Number 13. Zvi the Stutterer fumpers over the visual of a naked lunch. I'm sorry.
The friends wanted to see you nude.
Apologies to William Burroughs.
You want to know what's so odd?
Go ahead.
Is how many interview shows do you have people talking about getting nude, dick size? Are you nude? When you were nude? Tell me about this nude time. It's so strange to me that he's always talking about, okay, every single fucking person that comes in that studio is going to be talking about some sort of nudity at some point in their life. Whether it be, I would have to think about it. I'd be like, oh, right, shit. Let me think about my life. Okay, is there any nudity in it? And it'd be like, I did take a 3-year-old picture where I was in a bucket in a driveway. Is he going to bring... like, it's insane.
Well, remember he asked Elle Macpherson if she thought it might be traumatizing if she's nude, if they're her for kids see her nude. And, right. Like, that's, I mean, this is a demented mind, guys. I'm sorry.
I fantasize the same thing. I would like to see you nude, actually. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm hoping that we get to that point.
Anderson, he moved on. Sorry.
Hello, Frisco.
Cuomo, back of the line, bitch.
Faggot.
Wasted. Yeah, right. Oh, I would be so excited.
Oh my God.
I know we lost our militant gay audience, but I'm willing to sacrifice.
Sounds like when I was 11 and saw NSYNC.
I'd be so excited, George, if somebody wrote into Friends that they wanted to see Howard Stern naked. I mean, not in a goofy way, but in a real way. I mean, I would be really, really excited about it. That's why I'm saying it's very powerful that you met Allie during that time.
It's tearing up my heart if I'm with you, and when we are apart.
Okay, number 14, 79 is going to 79.
And how do you propose? I imagine a guy like you, Rhodes Scholar. By the way, what is a Rhodes Scholar? I'm very impressed that you're a Rhodes Scholar.
Oh my God! Did you just say that?
What is that?
So he explains what a Rhodes Scholar is, but he asks, "You're a Rhodes Scholar. What is a Rhodes Scholar?" Oh shit! I understand that if you're a 7-year-old or like a 10-year-old elementary school student, and they said, "Here's George Stephanopoulos coming to talk to the class. Ask him about things," and they read about this stuff, and they wouldn't know what that is. They mightn't even know how to say it.
Fillmore, he just went on and on about the impressiveness of being one because he is one for the first hour. Yeah. And he doesn't even know what it is?
And you wouldn't even think to look it up?
I don't know. Think it's like, MapQuest Road?
Or does he think it's endearing if he asks like a dumbo? Can you read number 15?
It's like a Rhodes Scholar. It's like, listen, I don't know how to get anywhere. You must be a Rhodes Scholar.
Break out the map.
Idea. You all the streets, motherfucker.
Read. Oh, sorry. Number 15, please.
Breaking out the ruler to measure George's thick, long, hard, and throbbing IQ.
You were number 2 in your high school. When you're at my house having dinner, do you ever say to yourself, Jesus, this guy, he's got the intellect of a fly.
Every fucking time.
Cardi B left the interview going, God, he's a little stupid.
Is it hard for you to...
You just don't play one on the radio.
Do you have a hard...
See, that's the mistake I made when I started listening to the show. I thought he was way smarter than he actually is. I didn't realize he's a dumbass. He's just playing one for the audience. Why not?
I really thought that he was the voice of the people when I was younger, and I am so ashamed.
Time in a room with people because of your intelligence. Have you ever had your IQ tested? Where were you at? 164? Are you a genius level?
Okay, now.
I had a pretty high IQ.
Listen,
why are people embarrassed about that?
If I had a high IQ, it's like if I had a big penis. I'd be a porn star. I'd be walking. You'd see me nude right now. I'd be naked.
He doesn't have either.
No,
79 and less than 7.
It's amazing that he's fascinated with IQ, but he never reveals his own. Why is that, I wonder? Number 16, George's beard steps in.
I know, but why can't you add a little, like, when she walked into the restaurant, like...
The context is they're explaining the first time they dated, and he played it down like it was lunch, and I wasn't too, I was trying to play it cool.
Heart skipped a beat, and she, I'm just saying.
Allie I'm going to defend Allie here, George. When I asked you to tell your love story, I got to tell you, if I was Allie, now I don't want to get in the middle of a fight here, but if I was Allie, I'd be like, it would be nice if all of a sudden, you see, you're so controlled and so intellectual that all of a sudden... Controlled.
What does that tell you?
Okay, we have 2 beard situations here, and now they are both controlling their beard narrative. Hmm? And now, Howard, you're busting on George's beard narrative. Yeah. How about you just shut up and both enjoy your beards?
Yeah, flying too close to the sun a little bit.
Yeah, it sounded like a business transaction, didn't it?
Right.
Thank you, Robin.
Jesus, even Robin's getting in on the case. Doesn't that sound a little ominous?
This woman walked in. My blood was racing. I wanted to hold her. I wanted to kiss.
Go ahead.
Okay. You've been married for a long time. I'm in a relationship. This discussion is not something that I picture my parents having or anybody who is in a heterosexual married relationship that love each other would be having. This is very strange. This conversation is very strange.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't have even pictured it before I heard it. So that's how sort of science fiction-y it is. That's how I just can't understand where it would come from.
And they're all in their late 60s and 50s. So let's just think how odd that is.
Allie's 55. I think I looked it up. George is about 58 or 59, although he doesn't look his age, really. I have to give him credit for that.
Just Allie, I was electrified.
Off my chair.
I almost fell off my chair. It's true, Allie. There is a certain... I feel George is he doesn't like to show too much emotion. Am I correct?
And ironically enough...
The story of when you met, when you've been together for so long, that's insane.
I looked up a video of him on one of the shows, Good Morning America. Not Good Morning America, but it's maybe a competing show. I'm not sure. He was an interview guest. And then they played a clip of Allie from Jimmy Kimmel or something where she exposed herself, but she didn't. It was covered up, you know what I mean? And all the YouTube commenters are looking, almost every comment was, that's not the way a hetero man looks at his wife, a video of his wife's boobs, and or the appearance of them being flashed. And I mean, but at the same time, I don't know. Looking at it, it is a little odd. If you check out the video, it was originally on Jimmy Kimmel, her clip, but then they showed it on one of the talk shows. I think if you just check out George Stephanopoulos' interview, and you might find it because it's pretty new. But every YouTube commenter was like, "That's a beard." Sorry. Number 17.
Wiki knows from beards, folks.
Listen, George isn't that kind of guy, Allie.
I understand that, but I shouldn't have to punch up his love story when he goes in your show.
I know, and I even said
I shouldn't have to punch up his love story.
Mm-hmm. That was a direct quote.
I shouldn't have to punch up his love story. Do you know I could say backwards and forwards when you fall in love with someone what it is without a question?
Yeah.
This is such a strange fucking dialogue.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't think you could write this if you were a screenwriter.
This marriage, because she said, what are you going to talk to George about? I said, I really want to hear George, without Allie in the room, describe meeting Allie and the love story, because they're an unlikely couple in my mind. I don't know that on paper you would think that they would hit it off. And I said, he's going to now use this opportunity to really talk about his wife in a way we've never heard. And quite frankly...
Do you think he's trolling? Do you think he knows something? He knows the truth and he's trolling?
This is such the Ed Bradley situation.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard's happy now with a Pittsburgh model, Beth. My mother went to church, and she looked over at him, and he started talking, and she said, "No, this is great. I love." And he goes, "Howard, let her tell the story."
Wow.
These situations where you really love someone in your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why are we still needing to profess how we became in love? That's very fucking strange.
You're right, and that's an amazing parallel. It never even occurred to me. But that interview is, for the 60 Minutes one, is almost exactly the same style of the approach. Anyway, number 18. Shut up, Allie. Two fruits are talking.
So you're the man in the family.
George, what did you give me for Christmas like 15 years ago? A toolkit. He did.
Yeah. You're such a romantic.
I hope it was at least pink.
George, do you love when Allie starts in with you, or is it something that annoys you about Allie?
No, it's I'm sitting here laughing, sweating a little bit no matter what, Howard, when I'm talking.
Go ahead. I know you want to say something.
Okay. Are they both going to come out at the same time? Like, is this a big plan? I'm so confused.
It certainly sounds that way under the surface. Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be a Vogue cover? Like, you know how Caitlyn Jenner was, "Hi, call me Caitlyn." It's going to be like, "Hi, I'm bisexual." And it's like George Stephanopoulos and Howard, hand in hand with like whack packers buried underneath them.
That's another Photoshop idea.
With Allie or about Allie, I know at some point the uncontrollable flop sweat is going to take over. Even
Allie,
sweat.
Promoting my book, I got to sit with George, and he interviewed me, and he did a wonderful job. But I did bring up your story about the amount of sex you and George have. And I know George doesn't like this, but you are the first one to say we have sex every single night, which blows people's minds.
What a fucking lie.
Yeah, I think this is way too hard. This is way too much trolling. And it's way too much acting, I think. Yeah.
Holy fucking lie.
I mean, are you hearing it the same way I am?
Listen. Okay. I'm trying to say how I'm gonna say this argument without sounding like fuck it. If I'm in a relationship if I'm in a relationship where I'm in love with someone, I have sex a lot. I don't have sex every day. If you're married for this long and you have to say we have sex every day, that's such a fucking lie. That's such a fucking lie.
Yeah, a little overcompensating, methinks.
Are you
yeah, just a bit.
Yes.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah.
Well, she caught COVID-19, I believe. That was the story. Allie Wentworth caught COVID-19. And he did as well, but he was asymptomatic.
Does her pussy look like a fucking wishing well at this point? I mean, are you kidding me right now?
That's how you get Howard
to lie.
All the coins. Let's see.
Really? George is not keeping up his end of the bargain?
I think
they're separated.
I was sick for a while, and there's, nobody
How can
wanted
they have sex every day if they're separated?
Well, yeah, that's a little crinkle in the plan. Let's go on to number 19. 79's hair is too complex.
Because it looks like George has had a haircut.
Where did
Who's cutting your hair?
I got my hair cut when I came into the studio. We have makeup people here at the studio.
George is rocking the salt and pepper look. Yep.
Okay, meanwhile, George looks fine. He looks like a properly aged news person. You know,
Yeah, he
he's
always
fine.
has. Right.
Allie looks like she's a burn victim from fucking bad injectables
I won't go that
and
far.
sun damage. So I don't think total beard. Keep going.
Okay.
I was able to get a haircut. I was getting pretty shaggy.
What about Hugh Jackman and his wife?
Oh God, beard, and beard.
When I was at home.
Yeah, I'm letting it
It's
fly,
easy
man.
talk.
I'm letting my freak flag fly. Look at this mane of mine. It's just growing.
Zufruti. It's insane. The Zufruti film is right now. We're watching it.
Okay, let me just play that one.
Bullet to the head.
Hold on. Let me just.
Where did you
Cutting
cut
your hair.
Only certain people can touch this hairdo. It's very complex.
Only certain people. Okay, the
Yeah,
last 4 clips.
The only people who are touching his hair
We know.
hair surgeons, Ralph, and
Colbert.
Mushu Peaches.
I guess so. Number 20, Ralph comes in to fluff his meal ticket.
I'm very proud of you. I was shocked that you stayed the course.
Yeah, I know. It was tough because George was being so great, and I wanted everyone to be able to hear what he was saying. So I hope everyone could.
Well, you could ask somebody on the phone how that was.
All right, let's ask that again to Ralph. Ralph, was it okay? Could you understand George clearly?
It really was. I mean, when you mentioned it, I mean, that's kind of when I became a little aware of it.
Okay, now doesn't this sound very much like what Bob D was talking about in terms of having people, the flying monkeys, to make sure you feel good about yourself? And like this, because this is prescribed. Like he knew Ralph was going to call in because he said maybe we should call somebody, and sure enough, there he was. And right, and George, through I'm sure no fault of his own, didn't sound very good on the recording on the mic. But he said it sounded fine on his end, like so it's clearly on the Long Island end, but doesn't sound a little
more
fluffy.
so to be having Ralph call in is the flying monkey beard conspiracy that I truly believe. It's like, think about when you were a kid and you lied about sleeping over a friend's house. Oh yeah, we're going midnight bowling. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to say we're doing this. We're going to talk about the midnight bowling. We all bowled a 300 every night.
Sure,
it was great. And it was fine.
Yeah.
No one was drunk. We all were there.
The mad
it's such
terror.
a fucking lie. And then all your friends told the parents, yeah, we were there bowling 300s every night. No, we weren't.
Notes on their hands, looking down at their palm, checking, make sure they got everything right. Number 21 is called The Ralph Band, and this refers to a story back in 2008, 2007 when they all went to the Hamptons, and he caused all kinds of problems.
Listen, I did have to ban you from the house.
I know that. I had forgotten that Ralph did get himself banned. That's why I laughed.
That was pre-bans. They were a delightful couple.
I used to introduce Ralph to some great people, but then when, there were some people that he almost got into a fist fight with at my house.
Then he started insulting them, yes.
He would insult them and say
drag
inappropriate
all that
things.
up. I mean, this
I don't remember this. This wasn't part of that. They're conflating a bunch of things throughout the years where he supposedly got drunk and told people off that he shouldn't have been. Mostly famous people off.
It was at Scores. He got punched.
Yes. Well, there's that, but then he's talking about encounters with Jimmy and his wife and
just multiple fuck-ups.
Yeah.
are lovely people.
It comes up once in a while. Even Beth will say to me, do you ever feel like you'll ever lift the ban on Ralph? And I say, honestly, no, I do not.
He's unpredictable. You can't.
No, he's predictable. He will offend your guests, and he will do shit that is completely nuts that no person should do. I don't know.
So there's that question. If he does such things, why would you still have him in your life?
Doesn't this not sound like friend? Doesn't this sound like an old married couple? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just does.
That was definitely one of the next clips.
He turns into Ralph Rickles and starts insulting people and all of this. So it's unfortunate. I like Ralph very much.
And I feel I can't blame you, and I feel bad. I did have some. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, I mean, I even said, I said, Ralph, look, if you want to tell me you got a problem, I'll get you into rehab or something. I mean, because what kind of behavior? He goes, no, I don't have a problem. It's just my personality. I said, oh, okay, then you got to leave my house.
I have a bad personality.
I said, I thought maybe Ralph had an excuse.
Then why is he still there? Why are you
Right.
still paying him? Why is he on the 112 retirement plan? Ralph
Absolutely.
Cirella is on a retirement plan with his other fucking employee, Beth.
Not only that, people have done so much lesser things, and you get upset with them. They're barred and they're banned from the show. How does he get away with this? Why? What does he have?
Why wouldn't your loyal employees who actually do work for you and the thing they're supposed to be on the 112 retirement plan? But we have this drug addict who pukes fucking vegetables in your sheets and is screaming your name high on ecstasy down the road. That's the one you put on your retirement plan. What's the reason, Howard?
Anybody wants to filter in their answers, please put it in the live chat. The next one, we're almost done. This next one's called Stuttering Zvi.
I thought Rob Zombie was going to beat your head into the ground.
It's really long. It's kind of longish, but it connects to this previous clip. But also, he does an amazing bit of stuttering that I haven't heard since the Emily clip. And I don't know if you noticed it, but it's amazing. Yeah. Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah.
Horrible night. That night was I hadn't eaten all day, and I started drinking, and I got so drunk, and
you were at your worst.
And
you were at your
it
worst.
was horrible. It was horrible.
Rob Zombie pulled me to the side and said, I'm going to beat up your friend Ralph over there. I said, oh, no, I haven't had a fight since high school, but I think I'm going to have to beat the shit out of this guy. And then Jimmy said, I think Ralph sat down and just said that Molly would be better off fucking Ralph.
Oh, my God.
So he starts stuttering because it's a very uncomfortable thing, and he's got to recount it, and it's true? Is that the problem?
I don't know if it's true or a lie.
Okay.
You suggested that perhaps Jimmy wasn't good enough for her, and that you might step in and do the honors.
Well, listen, I still think that, but I should have said it.
Yeah, like,
you know what? You know what I think truly happened? I think he said because it was around the time of the Sarah Silverman breakup that he made fun of Molly's looks.
Oh, maybe. That might be. Yeah.
You know, Jimmy had the funniest line because I woke up and really didn't have any memory of really anything happening particularly bad. And so we're...
Sorry, one sec. Let me pause that.
And
there we go.
Jimmy's sitting there. People are sort of looking at me. I'm like, well, what's up with that? Yeah. And Jimmy goes, at what point did you decide to become Foster Brooks?
Yeah. That's a great line.
That was hilarious. What a reference.
Well, you know what kills me about this? I remember back, I was sitting in my living room with Jimmy and Molly and another couple. Maybe it was Rob and his beautiful wife, Sherry Moon.
Yeah.
And we were sitting, and I said, I'm thinking of inviting my friend Ralph over. You guys kind of know Ralph. I said, but I don't want to be presumptuous. Do you guys want Ralph here? And people started discussing. They felt funny discussing this because they don't want to tell you who to have. And I said, you know what? Let's take a vote.
No, they didn't feel funny discussing it because they didn't know if they wanted him there. They felt funny discussing it because they know he's your secret gay lover.
That's what it sounds like to me. Like who you going to offend if you actually...
1,000%. How can you think any of this is normal? Think of this. Get rid of your stern. It would be like if we all lived in the Children of God cult or something.
Right.
And we didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Okay, we're enlightened now. This is really what's happening.
Or how awkward is it going to be if we actually make that decision and say no, we don't, who are we offending really when we do this?
I'm going to vote to have Ralph come. And we went around the room, and I mean, it was so long ago, but I remember Molly.
It wasn't unanimous?
Vote. Oh, no. I think Rob rightly said, I'm not really interested in this guy, Ralph. And I don't think Sherry Moon was either. But Jimmy, being a fan of the show, was kind of like, okay, let's have Ralph. And I think Molly was going back and forth. And she said, okay, I'm for having Ralph out here. And Beth was for having Ralph. So he won the vote. And then after he insulted Jimmy and said that he wasn't good enough for Molly and that Ralph should fuck Molly, she said, I have no one to blame. I voted for Ralph.
It's
by the way, Molly is one.
Fault, not mine.
Molly.
Now, the fact that they're laughing about it is a little disturbing, but okay.
This also sounds just like you're reminiscing of a night out, a fun gay club night out, and what happened.
Yeah, right.
It's really, you know what I mean? It doesn't sound like two friends who, you're a really horrible guest. I can't even put myself in this situation where I'm thinking of a friend I have and how do I bring this up to my other friends and invite them? And they're constantly in the picture, but nobody understands how or why.
And the last clip, number 23, can you read that one?
A gay spat.
Okay, and that was really short.
I begged him. I said, Ralph, but don't eat 10 minutes before dinner. We've prepared a dinner. Everyone's going to sit and eat dinner.
I'll eat that too.
It's irritating. All right. All right.
Hey, listen,
anyway, you don't have to have him anymore, Howard.
Anyway, Ralph, you were able to hear George.
Let's move forward.
Okay. That is the end of it, guys. That is the end. Any closing thoughts on that? Shocked. I know. I have to edit out the pauses. Well, you guys make the decision for yourself. You figure out where that leads to and what that led to and what was the culmination of that whole science fiction.
Yeah, like if you watch Wake Me Up Before You Go and still think
George Michael
that he's fucking Al McPherson and Cindy Crawford, you're wrong.
I tried to work on that father figure Photoshop, but I couldn't do it because the single cover is actually very plain and there's not much to it. So I have to use another one to see if I can do something with that. So I believe this is going to be a two-parter, guys. It has to be. We'll let you know on whenever it comes out on the Podbean feed. It'll come out first on the YouTube stream. You all know the channel. Make sure you join our Facebook group if you don't know already. Look for Quite Frankly, a Howard Stern podcast. And we're on Twitter as well at Fillmore Fingers and at Sammy Therese. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any closing words, Sam?
Oh, God, I'm doing nothing for a while, so everyone can just keep re-listening. Bye.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
It was very emotional. You guys are going to make fun of me, but
You didn't cry.
Well, I went back into the apartment. After she left, I went back in the apartment, and I got a little weepy. I didn't actually cry, but I did get a little. I got a little upset. Yeah, I know. You can say it. Go ahead. Say it. You don't even have to cough it.
Faggot.
Right. Thank you. Let me have it. Let me have it without the bullshit.
Hey, Howard, did you
Go ahead. Do it again.
Faggot.
Faggot.